What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Randy. Today I'm joined by Matthew and former Survivor Australian player Nina Twine. And today is a very special day because we are joined by the sole survivor of Survivor Australia, Titans versus Rebels, the smiling assassin. Feras joins the show. I had to throw that in there, Feras. So,
Of
man,
course.
I have been waiting. I think we've all been very excited to chat with you, man. First
Me
off, we have to
too.
ask. We have to
Yes.
ask, has it
Yes.
set in, and how was the night last night? Enjoying that. We saw you guys had a massive party.
Yeah. Look, it definitely hasn't set in yet. I feel like I'm still dreaming, and all of you guys are a part of my dream. So welcome. No, last night was absolutely amazing. I had all my loved ones, my family, my friends, a lot of the cast members. They joined and watched. It was absolutely amazing. Couldn't be happier after last night. Yeah.
No, I imagine. I saw that post of everyone celebrating, and I was like, I know they are having the time of their lives. I wish I was
Yeah.
partying with you guys
So
there. I wish
cool.
I flew over for it. We have a lot to get to in a very short time span, but one thing that really stuck out to me, it's not about the gameplay itself, but something that was very emotional for us to see this season was you kept bringing up your heritage and how much it meant
Yeah.
to you to represent your heritage on the show. And I think this is something that even if someone tunes into the interview for just a couple minutes, I want them to hear this perspective from you because I think it's very important. What did it mean to go out there and represent your heritage and then see it play back the way that it did on screen?
Yeah, it was so overwhelming. I've said this multiple times. Although winning Survivor is such a huge achievement, this was my biggest achievement. Showing people, a bit of an inside look into, my culture, my faith was so important to me. And having people, from all over Australia and even all around the world sending me such beautiful messages in all walks of life, saying, look, regardless of, my religion or my culture or my background, seeing you pray brought a tear to my eye. And it's so wonderful to have that insight. And I couldn't be more proud that I got to showcase that in the best way possible. So super proud of myself, and I'm so happy seeing that all play out on TV. It's so eye-opening and overwhelming. So happy.
It definitely warmed my heart to see as well, and
Oh, thank
to
you.
know how much it meant to you and that you
Yeah,
wanted to be conveyed a certain way, and it was. I think that that's really important, and this may
thank
tie
you.
into it, but one question I did want to ask you, considering how stressful Survivor is in and of itself, you having quite a turbulent game with some, amazing highs, including last night, and some lows where your allies go home. Whether it's your faith,
Yeah.
your own personality, any of your characteristics, what kept you grounded throughout those 47 days?
Oh my God. It was so hard. Like I think I got the full Survivor experience of the highs and lows.
47 days. That's
Yeah,
insane.
literally. Yeah. Look, the only thing that kept me grounded was family back home. I realized whenever I lost someone, in the game close to me, it was something I automatically, ran back to as a safe place. After Garrick's vote off, I was an absolute mess. I love that man with all my heart. So um, I just went back to my safe place, which is, my family. And I kept thinking of them and why I'm doing this and how I'm going to push forward and what I'm going to do in my, next steps. And that's what really grounded me and really pushed me forward.
Would you say that Garrick's vote off was one of the most frightening moments for your game,
Yeah.
or was that something else?
Yeah, no, it was the first time where felt like I really took a hit in the game, because before that, I was, riding the wave. I was a showman. I was like, I did everything, and then when that happened, it was like, a slap to the face, like an eye opener. And yeah, to me, it was the first time I felt so vulnerable without, someone like Garrick in the game. But I still knew like I had someone like Raymond, I had someone like Eileen to, help me push forward, and they did exactly that.
This is perfect, honestly. You say that you refer to yourself as a showman here. And actually, my next question, that's why it was perfect timing, because my next question was about your alliance members. So we
Yeah.
heard Matthew all season long referred to you and Kirby, and we're going to get into Kirby, I'm sure, at some point.
No,
But we
yeah.
heard you guys, he compared it to Love Island, a rom-com in a sense. But I saw you as the Survivor Bachelor out here with all these alliance members. So you had Raymond as like a number one ally, Eileen at one point, Garrick at one point. I am dying to know. Go back to before Garrick got sent out. When you guys were forming this like 4-person alliance here on the Rebels tribe, who was your number one between those 3? Who was that person that if the game worked out in a certain way, you were going to the end with that person?
It's a hard one.
You got to pick one.
Oh my God. It's like picking my favorite child. Yeah, look, I think I resonated with Raymond the most. You know, not to take anything from Garrick. I love Garrick and I related to him on so many different levels. But Raymond was, I had a love for Raymond like my little brother, and I think that's what sort of defined that. Where I could see, you know, him, you know, in my brother and vice versa, and I just wanted to take care of this man, even though we're exactly the same age, which is wild.
I didn't know that. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
it was like,
I should have did my
he's from
research
28.
more.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people will trip out about that. But yeah, Raymond, he just had such a pure heart and soul. And I really, really just had something towards Raymond where I just wanted to be next to him at the end. That would be like the chef's kiss. I also obviously had intentions of taking Garrick as well, but if it came down to it, if it was a final 3 between me, Raymond, and Garrick, yeah, I would have Raymond sitting next to me.
That's tough, Garrick. You heard it here first. That's tough.
No, don't. I love
He'll
Garrick.
be okay. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I kind of wish that we got to see a little bit more about Raymond, because I noticed
too.
throughout the season, everybody seemed to have this bond, this care for him. And I wish we got to see that a little bit more. But because we are also touching on Garrick, and something that I really admired about you and him, you guys had these instincts that you would just say it out loud. And of course, we're like, how do they know? Was that the paranoia of Survivor that you felt like heightened everything you saw? Or are you naturally just somebody who can really read other people? Does that come natural to you? Because I need to know.
I think Garrick and I were very similar in the sense that we warmed up to people very, very quickly. We knew their quirks. We knew everything about them in such a small amount of time. We made an effort to speak to everyone. We knew what made someone tick. We knew, you know, when they were lying, what they would do. So I think me and him caught on extremely quickly in that sense. It was a lot harder for me after merge because I have never met, you know, a lot of these people. So seeing someone like Eden, for example, like me reading that was, I don't know. I think honestly, it's a part of my job. I speak to hundreds of people every single day. I'm interviewing people. I know when people are lying to me in interviews. I can read them like proper. And I think, you know, with all that experience of seeing so many different personalities, I'm able to pick out, you know, who's telling the truth, who's lying. Not saying, you know, it works every time, but when it's obvious to me and not obvious to other people, it's like really, really obvious. So a lot of people might not see it, but I'll see straight through it. Yeah. Thank you.
Feras, congratulations on winning that final individual immunity challenge. Going into it, of course, if you had won, were you always planning on taking Caroline?
Actually, that's a hard one because look, I was very emotional in the game in terms of other players. I had such a connection with Mark. You know, they didn't show that much, you know, on screen, but you know, me and him connected on so many different levels. So it was like my head and my heart fighting each other. I would love to have sat next to Mark, you know, as a friend, as a person, but I just knew looking at that jury that number one, Mark would have absolutely thrived in that chaos of that jury last night. Like, he's a diplomat, he's trained to do stuff like this. So it came down to two things: who would speak better and who on the jury would get a guaranteed vote. And for me, Mark was slightly better in that sense. So that's why I had to vote him off.
So we have to obviously bring up the relationship, the elephant in the room. I'm sure you've talked about it all day. Your relationship, your wonderful relationship with Kirby. I think you took it to heart. I don't know if you saw that we predicted you and Kirby in the final two, and we thought Kirby would beat you in the end. So I bet you took that to heart. But Feras, I'm curious to know. Walk us through your relationship with Kirby, because that was a really interesting one to watch play out. You guys were rivals and like frenemies, and then you were like best of friends towards the end. And when did you make the decision? When was the moment, if you can remember, that you made the decision, all right, I have to get Kirby out. I cannot play my idol for her.
Yeah. Wow. I could speak about this for over an hour. And Matthew, can't just say quickly, Matthew, I actually sent Kirby the clip of you speaking about us, and we both were like dying of laughter. So I love that. So with Kirby, I think it's such a complicated relationship. It's such a complicated relationship, but I think what it all comes down to is respect for each other's game and respect for the game itself. There were so many moments where her and we bonded on so many different levels that had nothing to do with the game. So we had that connection from the get-go, regardless of what happened in the game. And then we just happened to be on opposite sides, and we said, okay, look, although I love you so much, Kirby, we're gonna have to do this regardless. And I think she knew that as well. And it all came down to, like, again, I knew eventually she was gonna, gun for, Raymond or Eileen or Garrick or either one of them. But I think at the end of the day, we needed each other. And I think that's the most important thing, that whether we liked it or not, whether we wanted to play with each other or not, we needed each other in the game. We weren't going into merge that, vulnerable and not knowing anything. We needed to go into merge together as a unit and to show how powerful we can be together as a team. And I think we both loved the idea of, like, okay, you know what? Let's end this rivalry. Let's work together. Everyone's going to love it. We're going to love it. We love it. Let's just show who the big players are in the game. And Kirby is one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, and still speak to her to this very day. And I'm so grateful to have met her.
Oh, you were definitely a powerful duo. I've always said, I don't know if you can do a season now. If Feras is in another season, I don't know if you can do it without Kirby. Like, they both have to be there.
We're a package deal. From now on, we're a package deal, definitely.
I really admired your guys' relationship throughout the game, because it's something that I think a lot of survivors miss out on, where no matter what you feel about a person or a situation, you should always be open to work together, because
100%.
Without that, who knows where either one of your games would have gone.
Definitely.
But talking about that and kind of seeing the emotion that you had when you did have to make that choice, and the emotion that you had when you won the necklace and lost the necklace in the last episode, what was that feeling when you had your tribe mates, your jury come up to you and tell you, like, you deserve this hands down?
Yeah, it was so overwhelming and humbling. After losing that challenge, after the Kirby vote off, I was at rock bottom. And, I'm sure you guys saw, it was to the point where I felt like, you know what, I don't think I deserve to be here at this point. If I made this decision and I tried to back myself and I lost, I don't think I even deserve to win. So to have all of that turnaround in such a short amount of time, and to have, 9 votes for me, is so overwhelming, so humbling. And from the most amazing cast as well. I've formed connections with each and every one of them. And I actually mentioned that in my speech as well. I addressed every single one of them, and I said what sort of connection I had with them. And I think that reminded them that, this is more than just a game. We've established proper relationships. So I was so humbled to hear that, that they thought I was a deserving winner. Yeah.
Ferris, to wrap us up here, I just would really love to know, what is one thing about playing the game of Survivor that you didn't know before going into it?
Oh my God. How bad the bloody sleep is going to be. I'll tell you that. The worst bloody thing
He's
ever.
still catching up to this day.
Oh my God. Like, okay, I've said this multiple times and like, unfortunately it wasn't aired, but I'll say this. The portions of the food are a lot smaller than you think. The sleeping is a lot harder than you think. The challenges are a lot harder than you think. Things are way heavier than they seem on TV. Everything is heightened times 10. Your emotions, like I didn't think I would be this emotional. Keep in mind, the last time I cried was when I was in primary school. Like I was a kid and I was bawling my eyes out every second day on there. And yeah, I just could not prepare for such emotions like that, such an emotional roller coaster. And I think the fans felt the same thing watching the show as well, with how chaotic it was. But yeah, that's definitely all of those elements combined. Yeah, is a recipe for disaster.
What an incredible season to wrap us up here. An incredible season. A very, very well-deserving winner. Ferris, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. And I'll leave you with this, and I'll leave everyone at home with this as well. Would you go back out there if they said, hey, come give it another shot, or have you accomplished everything you wanted to?
No, of course I'll come back. I want to bring more to the table. I want to show the people what I'm all about. I feel like Australia saw like a small percentage of me, and I feel like a Feras 2.0 version with a Kirby 2.0 version is something we all need and deserve. Surely, right? Definitely.
He's down for the Kirby and Feras reunion. That's all we needed.
Yes.
Well, this is the wrap-up of the season of Australian Survivor Titans versus Rebels. Thank you guys for tuning in, and catch you guys next time. Thanks, Feras.
Thank you.